The journey, for all of us, begins with hopes, dreams, ambitions. You start to see the kind of person you want to become. That's all she wanted. Nothing more, nothing extraordinary, just to be. To be who she had the right to become. That's what we all want, isn't it? Fulfill a few ambitions, hope for the best, do your best. Grab the opportunities. And that's all she wanted. Nothing more. Just to be. Just to be as splendid as she could be. But here's the really scary thing, and this is how it happens. Someone you know, someone you trust, someone who would never do anything to harm you, suddenly presents you with the chance to be that person, the person you dreamed of becoming. A new life.
Well, I would think that sex trafficking would happen all over the world, like not just in like third world countries, but also in the United States.
In my opinion, I think sex trafficking occurs in like third world countries or like underdeveloped countries.
Sex trafficking occurs all over the world, and a person's race, sex, sexual orientation, culture, and geographic location defines their experience and perceptions on the subject.
I believe this because just the media coverage that we see every day, it like basically just portrays like these individuals that are like that are visiting or like they actually live in like third world countries. They're like disappearing, or like that's what you mostly hear in like the news and stuff.
Well, I think that's because in my English class we actually looked into sex trafficking and found out that it does happen here in the United States, which was really surprising to a lot of us.
Once people are educated on the subject, they often realize that sex trafficking is global in nature. The media often takes an Orientalist and Africanist approach to sex trafficking, displaying it as a phenomenon that only occurs in these third world countries. However, the reality is much different.
I'm not surprised that 80% of sex trafficking cases are minorities because, first of all, when one hears the word sex trafficking, they automatically think to third world countries, and a lot of third world countries are of people that are minority.
Although many people associate sex trafficking with foreign countries, sex trafficking is a problem in the U.S. According to the FBI Enforcement Bulletin, an estimated 293,000 American youths are currently at risk of becoming victims of commercial sexual exploitation.
I am surprised that one person is trafficked across international borders every minute, because if you put that in perspective, that's a lot of people within an hour.
According to the U.S. Department of Justice, 75% of the victims of sex trafficking investigated in the U.S. are U.S. citizens. 6% of the cases are male and 94% female.
The Feminist Project is a leading organization in the global fight against human trafficking and modern-day slavery. By successfully pushing for stronger federal and state laws, operating the National Human Trafficking Resource Center hotline, conducting trainings, and providing vital services to victims of trafficking, Feminist Project creates long-term solutions that move our society closer to a world without slavery.
Love 146 is a global organization working to end child trafficking and exploitation through survivor care, prevention, education, professional training, and empowering movements.
Although this is a global problem, there are many steps being taken here in Michigan with regards to sex trafficking. Earlier this year, Michigan Attorney General Bill Schwed unveiled the 2013 report on human trafficking by the first Michigan Commission on Human Trafficking. The Commission's report puts forth strong evidence that human trafficking is underreported in Michigan. They collected statewide data on victim services and professional training programs. They also focused on raising awareness and improving and creating legislation and policy. For policy and legislation, they recommended the passage of a safe harbor law to prevent the criminalization of victims, expanding real assistance for victims like housing after their rescue, toughening laws to target perpetrators, increasing public awareness, and tracking progress both locally and statewide.
The way we experience or perceive sex trafficking should not divide the movement towards its eradication. Instead, we should educate and in turn strengthen our coalition against this crime.